Hello everybody and welcome back to Indiethon. Before we get to our next round, let me just quickly tell you, why are we even here? Well, on the one side, we are obviously here to have fun with a lot of awesome speedruns the whole weekend, but we are also raising money to benefit Puppies Behind Bars. PBB trains incarcerated individuals to raise service dogs for wounded war veterans and first responders, as well as explosive detection canines for law enforcement. Puppies enter prison at the age of 8 weeks and live with their incarcerated puppy raisers for approximately 24 months. As the puppies mature into well-loved and well-behaved dogs, the raisers learn what it means to contribute to society rather than take from it. Check out the website at puppiesbehindbars.com to learn more about the wonderful programs. And now, I already teased it a little bit at the end of the last round. We have a very special surprise for you guys because the actual developers of the upcoming game are gonna speedrun it. Let's take it away, guys.
Hi, people of Indiethon. Hi, it's Studio Moondowner from Germany, and I'm Kirin, and this is...
I'm Leo, hi.
And we want to present our game Afterthought, man. This is like an indie game, and we did it just for you guys, for the speedrunning community specifically. But before we can show it off, we have to quickly go through a few mechanics and explain these so that you guys can see what's going to happen, because this game is really aggressively fast. Alright, for basics, you guys have seen this. There's a jump, there's a double jump, there's a wall jump. Simple stuff, and here are blue objects which you can crush, and they can give you a reset once you crush them. And here you get your double jump back, and you can chain these to stay in the air almost indefinitely as long as you have blue objects around. So what Leo does here, he can stall in the air, and as you can see, this is a game where you spend a lot of time in the air. So along with aerial moves, you can also have skills, and skills can also only be used in the air once, similar to your double jump, but they can also be reset. So you can have a jump, double jump, skill, double jump. And here in the tutorial you can only use one skill, but in the game you will be able to use 3 skills together. What Leo does here, as you can see, the player can stay in the air for a long time. And Leo uses the skill dash, which gives the player a directional move. But one interesting thing about the dash is it can also be aimed at the floor and give the player a slide. And the slide makes the player even faster. And one important thing to note is if the player slides off a ledge, the slide turns into a slide off, which also gives the player a reset as well as momentum, as you can see here. One important thing to know about slide-offs is they can be stacked together, as you can see here. And this is where you're slowly starting to see why this game is so stupidly fast. Every skill is designed to make the player faster and faster. So we beat the tutorial, and here's our quick logline. This is not a game about reaching the end. Afterthought is a game about reaching the end in a spectacular fashion, and hopefully this is what we can show you guys today. Alright then, so we are moving on to the main menu. Alright, and here, today we're showing off all core levels plus bosses, which will be the main section of the final game. And the run is about to start. I hope the counter is ready. We can go off.
Yeah, it's gonna be a split run, so I'm gonna do the first half and Kieran is gonna be commentating on that, and then we're gonna split in the middle.
Yeah.
And see how everything works out.
Okay, hey. Hope everyone's ready, right? Bit of hype in the sections. 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, we're starting here. As you guys can see, maybe as a structural introduction, this game is split into 8 worlds, and each world has their own design gimmicks and their own art direction and sound. So this is the first one, and since this is introductory, the levels here are still relatively simple. And we have already introduced the dash. Now we talk about the next skill, displace, which Leo just used here. It gives the player a teleport with which the player can chain through massive walls, hopefully to time some better movements and save himself some time. And here Leo skipped through the level and saved himself some time. What should also be noted about displays is at the end of each teleport, the player can chain another teleport on it. As well as the length of the teleport is dependent on the player's speed. So yeah, all skills were designed to be harmonious and hopefully work together to make the player even faster. Here we've seen another few beautiful slides and a few slide offs around the ledge and a jump to the middle. Alright, here we will see a few more displaced chains. And Leo saves himself some time by doing more displaced chains here. And we skip to the ending beautifully. Whew. So this is the 5th level, and this is also the first key level. And to explain key levels, the ending in these levels doesn't appear until the player smashes 4 yellow objects that are strewn over the entire level. So what Leo has to do here is he has to hit all these 4 yellow objects, as you can see here, for the player to get ready and open the ending as he managed here, and we move on to the next level. And this, after each key level, the player moves on to a boss level, and so we have our first boss fight here. And we will introduce some more mechanics once it starts.
La, la, la.
Alright, and here we start. So what Leo does here is he is mashing the attack button, and how this game works is regardless of a connecting hit or not, you charge up this black bar below the 100% in the top left. And what this black bar does is once it's filled, the player can either get a full black jump, 2 black jumps, or 1 black skill. What a black jump does is it gives the player invincibility frames, and it's 1 more jump, hopefully when the player just needs a little bit more height to hopefully make it through. Well, you just managed to clear this boss phase. And yeah, move on to the next section. And Leo tries to come here through this section, yeah, makes it through, and we're on to the first brutal phase of the boss fight. This is a super death laser, and hopefully Leo can make it through without getting hit. And since we're sadistic, this is not everything, the laser even gets suction.
Oh god.
The player now has to do everything trying to not get hit, so he makes it through and comes over the top. Good, 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 good. And now we move on to the next phase. And Leo teleports with a displace. Hopefully he doesn't get punched too much. Avoid the uppercut.
Wah!
Alright. And here comes the spirit bomb. Hopefully we won't get hit by that one. Alright. Leo makes it through, and like this we cleared the first world, and we're moving on to the next world.
Yeah.
Alright, this is the second world, and this is also the first world with a more complicated design gimmick. In this world, we're in a forest, and here the design gimmick is memory and fog. As you can see here, this would force the player to either memorize or improvise once the fog gets strong. But we're pros in this game, and we have everything memorized, so hopefully this won't be much of an issue for us. Also, this might be a good time to explain another skill. As you guys can see here, there is a cluster of blue objects, and what Leo does here is he uses the skill Bolt to get himself a launch. What the skill Bolt allows the player to do is cast a bomb, essentially, which detonates on contact with the blue object. But since there are clusters of blue objects with 5 or more, these give the player a very strong launch in the beginning. And what Leo managed to do there was get multiple cluster launches, which make the player incredibly fast. Very foggy.
What the fog?
Ooh.
Okay.
So here Leo carries through and holds his momentum well.
Going to get through the fog.
Manages to get through, carries, slides along the ceiling, carries his momentum, and clean finish. Good one. Alright, here we can see another cluster launch, and Leo goes through, accelerates another cluster launch, and this is how we do it. Get quick. As you can see, sometimes it's also beneficial to ignore some clusters if they are not beneficial to your route. They would smash you into an off angle, but since Leo's a pro, he only selects the right ones that do accommodate to his route. And we slide along the ceiling once more, and Leo finishes. So we're moving on to the second key level, and this is the first time we will see more use of a charged hit. What the player can do, the player can hit the hold the attack button and then release for a huge hitbox. As you can see, the active hitbox can go through the wall and allow Leo to hit 2 key objects at once and skip forward. He teleports through another floor and directly skips to the ending.
Woo!
Fast skip. And we're moving on to the second boss fight. The second boss fight is a type of King of the Hill fight. The boss will try to keep us off the middle of this tree, and it will be our job as players trying to reach this middle. For this boss fight to start, the player has to reach the middle first. And here we get a nice introductory section. Normally we'd have to go to the middle, but here Leo just tries to snipe off the trigger point without actually starting the fight. So Leo just did that. Now the fight actually starts. So what's happening here is that the boss of the section is trying to keep us off the middle, He's trying to place everything from traps, trying to hit us with arrows, just trying to keep us off. As you can see, we've got dragging arrows, howling arrows. We hope that Leo makes it through without getting dragged away. And he got it. Now he has to reach the middle. Got the arrow storm. The chain of hands. He makes it through.
We don't care about no chain of hands.
Alright, this section again, but this time even worse.
Whoa. And another one.
Let's hope Leo can make it through without too much hindrances. Yes, and we clear the second boss fight. And with the second boss fight clear, we're moving on to the third world. And as a short introduction, the third world will feature a new design gimmick. This time, these will be arrows. These arrows will be either blue or red. We should surely introduce red objects, as you've probably seen before. These can also give the player a reset once blocked. So what these arrows do is they function similarly to blue objects, as in you can crush them and get a reset, but they will also launch you in the direction of the arrow. So these make the player incredibly fast, and this cycle, this world gives the player a lot of speed. There are also red arrows that are functionally the same, but they have to be blocked. So just to keep that in mind. Leo will use a new skill here. It is called Vortex and also Wind. It has two different states. As you guys can see, he casted a tornado on himself to give himself better horizontal momentum, which he managed to carry through. And we finish with a jump here, stomp down, and we finish. Move on to the next one.
Giant tornado stomp.
So the wind can either be used as a launch or as a vortex carry. In the launch, the player has to aim at the opposite direction, and the knockback will launch the player. So here we're moving on to one of the fastest levels in the entire game. And also here we see a new skill used, an echo chain, one of the fastest section of the entire game. What this echo does is it lets the player, it is best imagined like a Mario Kart boost strip. As you guys can see, it is this crystal with a blue and a red side, which Leo uses a lot here. The blue side is a boosting side, which makes the player go faster once he goes through it. But it also has a red side, which functionally is the same, but it accelerates the player with a negative momentum, which can be imagined like a mirror or like a bouncing a trampoline. So what Leo does here is there were a lot of blue stacks which he used to chain up a lot of echoes upwards to get a lot of momentum, and this is how we got these tremendous launches. And here Leo finishes with a beautiful clear. Alright, and we're moving on to one of the longest and hardest levels of this game, and we hope that Leo can make it through, and a beautiful clear through this arrow section. And here we've got radical arrow mazes with a lot of varying directions, and the player has to keep in mind here that he can hopefully take the right direction here. We also see a lot more red arrows which Leo has to block, so he has to take both of them right in. And here you guys can see a lot of potential speed that Leo's building up. This game has ridiculous levels of hypothetical maximum speeds, and a lot of the challenge in this game is not just reaching these speeds but actually holding them. Here we got a massive blocking chain. Leo clears through, tell him displace chain, and perfect finish. Very beautiful clear here.
Wow. Okay.
So we're moving on to the third key level, and here it might be a good time to explain an interaction of skills. What you guys just saw there was Leo just casted a bolt, but then casted wind. What that does is that the player can actually fire off his own bolt instead of carrying it. And Leo can use this combination to trigger off keys without going to them and save himself a lot of time. And there was a long key section, he made it through the arrow section, and he cleared.
Oh god.
So we're moving on to the third boss. And this boss is a golden bull. Alright, and this is a thematically interesting fight. This is a game of catch, essentially. So what this bull here does here is he's gonna run along this bridge, but the bull has these 4 yellow glowing joints, as you can see. And with each joint you trigger, the bull is gonna run faster and the player has to chase the bull. And once this chase section is done, we end up in an attacking section, which Leo can hopefully make it through without getting hit. As you could see, these 4 yellow joints are actually very complicated. Once they get hit, they actually deactivate, or the other remaining ones deactivate. So what the player can do is, when the player uses, for example, a charged hit, or in this case a black bolt, the player can trigger multiple hitboxes at once. Otherwise, the hitboxes will deactivate for a few seconds and the player cannot keep up this bull's momentum. But Leo just managed to hit 2 at once, and here's another one, and we make it through his hindrances. He activated all 4 joints and the bull runs to the end, and we make it to this second attacking sequence. And as you guys can see, there's less safe spots here, and Leo has to hopefully stay in this section without actually getting hit. So we hope for the best. These are some volatile curves. Maybe this bull is a metaphor for crypto. I don't know. No way! But we make it back to the chasing section, and Leo prepares his next hit. How many balls, how many joints can he hit? Oh, he hits 3 joints at once, which gives the bull a lot of speed. And Leo moves on to the 4th one. He triggered the 4th joint, and the chasing section is now almost over. Leo keeps up with momentum, and we move on to the final attacking section. And as you can see here, this is not easy anymore. Leo has to keep in mind, he has no safe spots anymore to stay. He has to keep his block up. And here come volatile curves, here come snapping wire cables, dramatic falls.
No hit.
Leo makes it through without taking any damage. And the bull crashes into the water. What a dramatic finish.
Just gonna follow him.
Yeah. And so we finished the 3rd world, and we're moving on to the 4th world. And the 4th world gets introduced with one of the fastest sections of the entire game. Hopefully you guys still remember what the slide up was, right?
Oh no.
Oh, some technical issues? No, we're back. Alright, as you guys can hopefully remember, the slide off converts all this momentum. So what Leo just did here was he took a huge stomp downwards and carried all this momentum, and then converted it with a dash into a slide off of the ledge, and he converted all this momentum horizontally and carried it towards the ending. Should also be noted that this channel was within a gravity zone. These are built as to the theme of this world, frustration. As you guys have probably seen, there were some white streaks pulling down. These are gravity zones which pull the player downwards and make aerial momentum faster to hold up. So what should also be noted is, since we say this, there are also negative zones in this game, as you can see here. What happens within these zones is that the player can use skills while he's in there. So the player has either used these skills in front of those zones to carry them through, or take the skill into the zone. But within these zones, nothing can be casted. So we're moving on to the first level that actually has gravity zones and skill cancel zones together. And this is a very frustrating level when you're new, but since Leo is a pro and he actually designed these levels, we hope that he can make it through without getting too much damage and too much hindrances. He carries on beautifully over the top, carries all his momentum and finishes. What a clear.
Easy peasy.
So since we're actually even more sadistic, we actually have here the first level where skill cancel zones and gravity zones overlay each other, which is actually a terrible feeling if you don't have a route. But luckily Leo actually designed it and designed his own route while designing it, so he clears through here without too much trouble, and he goes over the loop-de-loops and stomps with a fast fall into the finish, and we're moving on to the next key level.
Oh yeah.
The fourth key level has some terrible separation going on, so in this level the keys are actually really hard to get to, so Leo has to work here a lot to move up to these, so hopefully he can make it. So here we got another ball launch, but he has to calculate in the gravity drag, and he curves it perfectly. He stomps the charge hit through the wall, and he makes it to the other side. He goes through the zone, loop-de-loop, hits and carries this one. Fourth hit, and he finishes. And we're moving on to the fourth boss. And after this boss, we're gonna swap.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for that one.
Alright, and here we have our fourth boss, or as our community has lovingly labeled him now, Scribble Wolf. So this boss fight is once again similar to a game of catch, but now this time we're the one being chased. And this is also incidentally the only level in the game where you can die. As you can see, there's a black wall approaching from the left, and the wolf is now going to try everything to slow us down, so we would get eaten up by the death wall. And that would actually be terrible since we're speedrunners and we had to reset the entire level, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Another skill cancel zone, death bites, tunnel of death, shooting wolves, terrifying skill cancel zones, getting stuck in the middle, aggressive music, shark biting wolves, tunnel of death, gravity zones, gravity death ball. Who makes it through? What's that? The tunnel of death. Oh no, so many wolves. Leo makes it through. Makes it through without getting bitten. Hopefully the gravity zone doesn't drag him. Oh! That's a wolf that gets him. And we jump over the red zone. Hopefully the gravity zone doesn't get us. He clears the gravity zone and he moves off the gravity ball, and this is it. This is the fourth clear. And hopefully Leo will tag me in.
Yeah, go for it.
This might also be a good time to read a donation. Do we have a donation?
All right, we can no donation at the moment, but I will just go ahead and remind you guys that we have an incentive for the next game coming after this one. It is to save or kill the animals. Currently, saving the animals is still in the lead by $10, but as we established earlier, that is actually the slower option, so we want to go fast, you know, so go ahead and donate that we actually go ahead and kill the animals to make it a proper speedrun. And with that, it's back to you guys.
It's a live show, so some things happen, but alright, we're back on track. Sorry. I hope nothing happens to those animals.
Yeah. Alright, so now we're in the 5th world of the game. And as you can see, things have changed a bit. Now we have moving objects. We are in some kind of nightclub and everything is moving to the beat. So let's hope that we can also move to the beat and get through the levels here. Just gonna dance our way through. So yeah, as you can guess, with moving objects it's a bit more harder to get a consistent route through the levels. But yeah, since we're pros, we have still some setups, especially in the beginning for the launch. And then we're gonna need some improvisation to get through the rest of the level. What's most importantly here is that we never want to stop. So as soon as we stop and lose our speed, we need to reset as fast as possible and get another launch. Just like that one. So Kieran is also doing a lot here, is using dash and bolt together, because that will always get you a fast launch again. Just like that one. And we're right at the ending of the level. So another level here. In this one we have to go down a lot and try to keep our momentum, and then later we have to go up again, which will be hard of course, especially converting the momentum, the downwards momentum to upwards momentum again. So for that we can use dash a lot. And again bolt will come in handy for us. We also have a lot of arrows here pointing in different directions. Some of the arrows will be good on the way down, some of them will be good on the way up. So of course we do not want to hit a downwards arrow while we're going up now. And we need to get towards the end here.
Oh, these are some painful arrows.
Just gonna ignore those arrows there and jump to the ending. And another level in this world. This level is basically designed like a maze. You can see it here in the beginning. We have like a big labyrinth with so many possible paths that we can take. But we don't care, we have the display skill that we already have used a lot. And yeah, it lets us teleport through walls. And we're trying to do that a lot here because yeah, just skipping walls is much easier than thinking of a good route here. So yeah, we're trying to skip all the walls possible here. And going to the end again of the level. So now we're having a level with moving keys, again another key level, and yeah, in this one it's pretty hard to get all the keys because yeah, if they are moving away from us, we sometimes have to reset or chase after them. For the first key it's usually best just to wait there and then go ahead once we got it. And then we have another key on top that we want to reach as soon as possible here. Sniping it off with a well-timed bomb snipe. 2 more keys remaining in this level. can just snipe another one off like this. And yeah, trying to get to the last one here. Do a well-timed snipe again. Ooh, we missed it, but no problem, we can still move on. And move towards the end already. It's just so easy when the key is moving towards you. So much easier than just chasing after it. So now we're getting to another boss fight in this world. This is who I call the random boss, because this boss is also spawning a giant maze again. Spawning a lot of random attacks inside there, and we cannot really predict anything here. So for a speedrun it's not that good actually. Let's see if we have some good RNG now. So in the beginning this boss is spawning 5 yellow crystals. And if we're hitting those crystals, the attack phases later will be faster. Meaning that will save us a lot of time. So we are trying to snipe all these crystals off now. Trying to detonate them. And... okay, we got 3 of them, that will be good already. Making the phases a bit faster now. So now we are again using this place a lot to get to the maze. And this giant DJ boss is spawning some nasty attacks at us. So we have reached the first key inside the labyrinth now. Yeah, I have to say these yellow crystals are spawned randomly, so we never know where they are. In this first case it was pretty good that it was in the bottom row. So let's see what the other ones are. And now we're in the first attack phase, which is a bit faster now because we put some keys in the beginning. And now we need to jump on to the next one, which is also hidden inside the labyrinth. You can see an indicator on the screen. And that's where we need to move now. Just gonna displace through some walls again. And gonna hit the last crystal here. So now it's probably a good time to talk about damage in this game, because usually you cannot die in our game. And the only thing that happens if you take damage is that the time scale gets slower, meaning that will make your speedrun longer, so it's actually pretty bad for speedrunners if they take damage, like usually. But what we can do, you can see the 100% on the top left of the screen. As soon as we take damage, we can still try to hit objects, and when we hit an object, that will restore our health bar basically. Now waiting for that boss to end his attacks again.
Oh, we see this is a live show. Got some technical issues.
Getting some lags from the stream, I guess. But I'm sure we can adapt to that and get to the next level soon. And we have another attack phase now, everything is a bit more still. Again, a lot of block spamming just to avoid all this stuff here. Things if you use block too often you will get locked out of it. So we're trying to get the timing here right. And we did it, another attack phase done. Now one last time we need to find the crystal inside the maze. It is somewhere on the top left here. Trying to displace through everything. You can do it, you can do it. And the last attack phase is coming. Finally did it. fighting against the lag here. So, we're in the last attack phase. Basically infinitely many objects coming at us, just trying to evade all of them, block them, and get through it without getting too much damage. And we finally did it. That was one hell of a boss right here.
Keep in mind, people, this is live, so some technical stuff can always happen.
So yeah, finally after that hell of a level, we will get to a much more relaxed world. Now we have some wind channels here that basically help us to get through the level. We have no more visual noise like before, we have much more relaxed and calm music. And yeah, basically the level now is designed to help us and to be much more friendly than before. You see a lot of blue objects, they give us opportunities for things like that. You will basically often see these clusters of 6 blue objects, we call them 6-packs. And yeah, getting a launch of a 6-pack can be very, very beneficial and make it super fast. So that's what we're trying to do in this world. Earlier we have already explained the skill Bolt, and Bolt can make a detonation, like an explosion. And if you get a detonation on all of these 6 objects in the 6-pack, you have a very, very strong launch. So yeah, we are aiming for that a lot here. And luckily there are a lot of 6-packs in this world, which we can use our techniques on. And another one. Building some speed here and there. So you see in this world, even if you did nothing, the wind channel would still drag you towards the end. But for a speed run, we will always try to be faster than that. And use all our skills, use everything at once and make it hopefully to the end much faster than only with the wind channel. So now we have some more types of wind channels, they are overlapping each other. We have more 6-packs and another one. You see these launches are just so crazy, so we're always trying to get them. And another 6-pack. So now we have that speed. The goal is just to carry it towards the end without any problems anymore. And we did it! Another one. So now we're getting to a pretty cool level, because you will see in the second half of the level we have a very, very big wind channel, and inside that wind channel we have also a lot of objects. And the cool thing is that we can basically just spam our skill buttons inside there, and we will always get faster if we do that. So something like that, and at some point we will not see the player anymore. Woohoo! The freeze frames and screen shake is real here. Let's go for another level. We have again a key level, meaning we need to hit all those keys. On the top of the screen you can see this small yellow circle, so we have to hit 4 keys. Hit the first one. Usually you can also snipe keys off screen, but in this level you can snipe the wind channel and hope that your bolt gets carried towards the key. So now we already hit another one off screen, just by sniping that thing into the wind channel. And the last 6-packs of this world. And the last key, and we did it! That was a very smooth run. So usually we would have a boss fight here now, but yeah, the boss of the 6th world is more story driven, so right now, yeah, we're simply going for the next level. If you want to find more about that boss, you can probably buy our game or just check out the story. So, now we're in another world. This is world 7. In this world everything is about skill. We want to get upwards. And in order to do so, there are in the beginning of the level usually a lot of launch setups. Meaning there are a lot of objects and opportunities to do things. You will basically see that now. So here we have a lot of red stuff, we have blue stuff, and we're just trying to get a very good and strong launch here. Getting that speed that can carry us through the first half of the level. And if we're there, then we usually need to improvise, because yeah, if you have so much speed you will always end up in another part of the level. And now we ended up here, and some improvisation done. I'll skip towards the end here. Skip some walls with displays, and we got it! Another level beaten on our list. So you see now we're in the 7th world and the game has 8 worlds, so we're closing in on the end at some point. Still some way to go though, because the last levels are the hardest ones. Now we're having another launch here. And yeah, you can see in this world it's all about climbing mountains. And yeah, the mountains are getting higher with each level, meaning that we have to fight gravity even more and more. And yeah, some more skips through walls. So when you're climbing a mountain, you're usually also displacing through some of the smaller mountains, am I right? Oh. I think that's all a speedrun is about, trying to skip as many walls as possible. And again, we're teleporting through basically everything. Now another mountain coming. This one is even higher.
As you can see, sometimes it's worth it to just reset a single level, which goes by a single button. If it doesn't work out as planned.
Yeah, especially in the beginning of the level if you don't get your launch. It's sometimes best to reset. But I think I don't have to tell you that if you're a real speedrunner. Getting some more launches here. Now for this mountain it's a bit more beneficial to go through the second to the right half of the mountain. Yeah, because we have this channel here inside the mountain. Basically going through a tunnel here. And we have another key level coming. And this one, yeah, we have a lot of keys again, 4 as you can see on the top of the screen. And if you're doing it right like this one, you have all of them on one route and you can just basically fly up there and get all of them. And yeah, we're at the ending. A very, very smooth run. You see the first 3 keys were hit in like 1 second. Pretty cool one. So now yeah, we're coming to another boss fight. Again, we have a mountain here. This time we have a boss on that mountain who's trying to keep us away. This is the guy jumping away from us, and yeah, he's gonna be throwing some attacks at us. Especially bullets. And yeah, and then this guy has these attack phases where he's spawning yellow rings and we're trying to hit those rings. Because as soon as we do, he will go into the next phase. Just like this one. And he will be throwing attacks at us again. As you can see, he's throwing bullets and dragons and basically everything he's got. Trying to hit some of these yellow rings again, and another attack phase. That was actually a pretty good run so far. So now I can also explain what the wolf is about. If we use the teleport skill too often, then we as the developer said it's too cheap. So we said there must be some kind of punishment, and it's the wolf that's always attacking Kieran here. But the cool thing is you can also block that wolf if you have a lot of timing and have trained that. And if you block the wolf, you can use it again. Meaning you do not need any objects, you can just infinitely often use displays in the air. And yeah, that's pretty overpowered, I'd say. So now we're using the wolf a lot because it's the most consistent way to get up the mountain here. Using a long displaced chain to get up there. And trying to hit the yellow rings in the last phase here. So this boss is even throwing wind at us, keep us away from the mountain. He's still pretending it's his mountain, even though we're obviously much better. And yeah, spawning the last attack, we don't care, we're just gonna jump over it and going to the end. So we're on top of that mountain now. Some beautiful sights there. Sunlight in the sky. And yeah, now we're finally moving to the last world of the game. This is pretty exciting for us. So now in this world we have to go upwards. We have again moving objects on wheels. And while we're going upwards we can basically use the echo skill again, because echo will always boost us. And if you get a good launch in the beginning, you will only go upwards. And we don't give gravity any chance that way. Just going all the way up. So some funny stuff about these levels is if you know the levels, you can see that there is sometimes a path in the middle of the level. If you just go up there like that, you can basically fly up the level in a straight line.
Almost.
Almost. Yeah, these strategies are of course very inconsistent, but we're still trying to perform them here on screen. Because they just look so ridiculous. Some more levels again going up. What we also have in this world here are these gray zones you can sometimes see. If the player is inside the gray zone, the time scale of the entire game will change. Meaning sometimes it will be slower and sometimes it will be faster. So that can also disrupt the player a lot. Especially if we have like timing trained inputs, muscle memory, stuff like that. Yeah, the time zone can disrupt all of that. We need to deal with that somehow. Now here on top of the level, going into a tiny channel, but Kieran is doing that with grace here. Another level in that world done, pretty good run so far in cycle 8. So now probably one of the hardest levels inside the game. Going upwards with so many objects on the way. It's basically impossible to fly up here in a straight line, so we're just trying to get to our safe spots. There are some across the level, and yeah, we're trying to get multiple launches here to get all the way up. That was a pretty good first launch here. First safe spot reached. Gonna go up again, even higher, even higher. Here we have another safe spot. And the time warping is real. So now here on top of the level we have to get into that into the middle of that moving circle, and as you can guess it's really hard if the objects are moving so fast. But yeah, we did it! This is probably one of the hardest parts in the game, getting to the middle of that circle. Just gonna say that because it looked so easy. Now taking a deep breath for the last key level in the game. Gonna do some serious snipes here on the moving wheel objects. We already got 2 of the things. Yeah, it's pretty hard to get the first 2 ones, so if you do not get them, you usually need to reset. But Kieran did that with the first try. Not just trying to get the last one, that can be so hard because it's moving on the shell of the wheel, and yeah, sometimes you just have to wait up here until that thing gets there. Because yeah, if we're going up there, down there, gonna chase after it, we're just gonna waste some time, and we don't want to do that now. Closing in on the end of our stream here.
This is the last boss!
Coming to the last boss fight, yeah! I'm so excited now. What do you think? Can we get a sub 40?
I don't know, man.
Sub 38 maybe?
Depends on if I get a heart attack or not. Alright, get the timer ready.
So you see, this is the last boss in the game, so of course it's the hardest one. And there's so much moving stuff here, but we know how it's gonna be skipped. Yeah, just gonna use this place. Just gonna skip through the 2 first parts of that boss fight.
Oh.
Now we're in the moving wheel section. This can be very, very hard. Gonna use some displaces again to get into the next section. This is probably the hardest one because here we also have some time warping again. We can go into the safe zone here on the left. And now we're gonna displace through some parts of the level. Oh, some more time warping happening here. Boss just made everything slower. Ooh. Ooh, and he did it. He got through the first barrier. Oh no, and we're back down again. Time to get back at 100%. And now we only need to get to the middle of that thing.
Oh boy, on! Clear it, it's over, it's over! Woo! Oh my gosh, what?
Use the big displays here.
Woo. Sorry guys, this was a rough presentation. But if you can see it in your heart, Afterthought is gonna launch on the 1st of August. So that's pretty soon, it's still in early access.
Still got an A rank though.
Still got an A rank. Oh please, Afterthought on Steam. You can wishlist us or you can buy our game. Hopefully with better performance. Once it's not streaming.
Yeah, we're looking for someone to stream it on, streaming events like this. Maybe ESA, maybe Games Done Quick.
Indiethon, thank us for featuring us.
But Indiethon is the best for us now. So yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
Indiethon, take care of the puppies. Please donate for puppies.
Yes.
Alright, thank you guys so much for this spectacular run of Afterthought. Like, that was absolutely fantastic to watch, and I think a couple of us will probably go ahead and maybe have to wishlist it, huh? So, yeah, once again, thank you guys so much, and before we do go over to a quick intermission, let me guys just remind you that we do want to raise a total of about $4,000 during the course of this run, and if we will reach that goal, we're actually gonna have a little sneaky bonus stream. We'll have a messenger DLC run and a Cuphead run done on a Guitar Hero controller. So if you want to watch those runs, well, we gotta donate some more money to reach that goal, because also keep in mind for the next one we have an incentive still going where we can save or kill the animals. Saving the animals is slow, but it is still in the lead by $10 compared to kill the animals, so go ahead, donate during the intermission, and I will see you guys in a couple minutes.